Well, hello and welcome to a Wednesday stream that I think has working audio. So let's check that out. I want to wait for my phone to catch up here. In the meantime, I'll say hello to Parker. What's up, Parker? Say hello to Gross Adventures. And I'm going to listen in real quick here. Oh, shoot, that sounds really good. All right, good for me. We got Shane over here. Let me just resize some of my windows. Uh-oh. I almost banned you, Shotgun Studio. I'm sorry. It wasn't personal. It was definitely not personal. But yes, Shotgun Studio is here. Shane is here. Rogers Science Center. What's up? Heather Just Create. My wonderful wife is here. We got some questions and stuff. We'll jump to those when we do all the hellos and things. Thanks for all the reviews. Love the studio. Thank you. I'm in a slightly different and more refined setup today, so I'm excited to kind of share some of that for you. Freddie's here. Greeting from Florida. Please, anyone in Florida, please be as safe as possible because it's terrifying over there right now. Lonnie's here. We got Adam and Catherine. We got Audio Hotline. I'm just kidding. Actually, I have a few mics right here. Here's one of them. Audio Hotline sent me a few mics. One of them being the Rode Broadcaster, which is a really cool microphone. Also sent me the Dynacaster and an awesome Sennheiser microphone as well. So, all right, let's jump in and see what is up. It's Wednesday morning. I wanted to do a live stream just to hang out and chat and just sort of have some fun. I do have the Rodecaster video going, so I have this camera, which is my FX3. It's kind of like a setup because I redid all of this. I redid this whole situation recently, and that's where we're at right now. Got overhead video overhead camera in case we need it. I'm using the Rodecaster video today for everything, and then I also have source 4 is a source for maybe this, which is something I tried to play with, and we're gonna see if that becomes a thing. Because why not? But in the meantime, we're just going to hang out and chat. So that is where it's at. Yay. Peter says, Tom, did you notice in your video at the NAB show, did you notice any sound quality difference between the Wireless Go 2 with the mic handle and the Interview Pro wireless? I actually have my Wireless Pro right here. And what you're asking is... Basically, there's these two Rode wireless things, right? The Interview Pro and the wireless. This is the Wireless Pro, but the Wireless Go 2 is kind of the same thing. Is there sound quality difference between these two? Yes, there is definitely. I actually have this one connected right now because I might need it later today. The Interview Pro, I think, is a significantly better sounding mic, but it makes sense. I mean, look at let's take it off. There we go. Look at the size of this capsule versus this little, I don't know, should I have, I have an overhead camera. Boom, with product showcase mode. So it's almost like this was perfect for that, although it's not showcasing my products at the moment. Anyway, these two circles, these two silver circles here, look at the size difference. Capsule here, capsule here. It completely makes sense then that this would have, a better sound overall than this does here. They both sound great, but yeah, the Interview Pro, I'm quite impressed with its sound quality. I really like it. Let me put this back. It's like when you cook, you clean as you go, right? So yeah, I preferred that one personally, for sure. Bushfam says, would love if you could do an in-depth review on the Boss Gigcaster and getting into specifics, especially EQ to bring out the best settings. Yeah, so I've had the Gigcaster since it came out, which was like a year and a half ago, I think at this point. And it's cool. And actually on the floor back here, you can kind of see there's a floor pedal. I liked the Gigcaster so much that I was like playing my bass through it and stuff, and it was really fun. And then it just inspired me to go out and buy a whole separate Line 6 floor pedal. So the Boss product inspired me to buy a competing product. I don't know if they like that or not. I don't have the Gigcaster anymore, actually. Mine had one issue. It wouldn't record to the SD card, so I had to send it in for repair. It took a couple months. I got it back. The new one was fine. The issue I had with mine is something I've never heard of at all. So I think it was just a one-off thing. And I got mine back, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make that video. I did some live streams with it. And it just never really clicked for me, to be honest with you. And so I actually just gave it away last week. So I don't have it anymore. So I don't think that video is going to be coming anymore. It just wasn't, it's amazing for musicians, but there's also a lot about it that's like really clunky. And for me personally, it was just not anything I was actually going to be using. But it is cool. The Fantasy Network says, I just got my Rodecaster Pro 2. Tom, your channel has helped me tremendously with my setup and purchases. Appreciate you. Any must-knows for live stream audio with the Rodecaster? Let's see, boom. I'm using my Rodecaster Duo right here. Oh, and I think, see, I have like this permanent top-down setup now, and this is on this arm. So check this out. Check this out. See, this is why we're doing this today. See if we can do different things. All right, let's see if we can turn on product showcase mode. Maybe I turned it on or off. Oh, look at that. Look at us getting focus shots here. When it comes to streaming with the Rodecaster, this is the Duo, but the internals are exactly the same as the Pro. There's not much to really worry about other than potentially mix minus if you're doing anything that involves other people. So if you go into your settings and you go into your outputs and then you can go to routing, typically, USB 1 is the most common one that's set up to your computer, but whichever USB 1 or 2 or whatever you're using in your computer, if you're using audio from your computer or you have a guest or whatever, just make sure to go there and choose mix minus or do a custom mix to include just the tracks that you want. If you use main mix, then you're going to get like echoes and things from people. And they're going to hear you back and it's going to be funky. So mix minus is really important. Otherwise, it's quite simple to get started, but that's my big tip right away. Let's see here. What else? Cool. We got our double thumbs down. That's awesome. Joe from Florida. Again, if you're in Florida, please take care. I know Florida is a big state, so just because you're in Florida doesn't mean you're necessarily in the path of a hurricane. But we have a lot of Floridians here, like Mr. Camera Junkie, who I talked to yesterday and said that he was doing good. Matt's here. First time joining the live stream. Cool. They're fairly random, so I'm glad you're here because it's pretty crazy. Here's Robbie from Switzerland. Always like that. Luke is here. No question. Just saying hi since I'm in work. Well, no question. I appreciate that. And Keith, Shotgun Studio, got the NT1. Oh, yeah. I sent you the NT1 in the mail. Yes. Keith has the NT1 Signature Series. Actually, it's this exact same microphone that I sent to him, except his is the black one and this is the blue one. Basically, when the microphone was released, Rode sent the black one to me, which is the default color. It's great. I love it. And then eventually they made the colors available for purchase, so I bought that one. I didn't need to. So Keith now has mine, my other one. Well, actually, it's not mine. It's his. And Peter says, when going back to the NAB thing, going to a convention in a few weeks and want to do some impromptu interviews. Yeah, the Interview Pro is awesome. And the built-in 32-bit float recording and the zero handling noise. It's like, I really, really love that thing. Why is my message not being posted? There it is. It is. I don't know. Let's see. Thoughts on potential Nexidine capsule on the SM7B body. Is that a thing they're doing? Actually, one of my friends just sent me a Nexidine to borrow. They have one. They sent it so I could try it out. It's at our post office box. I need to go pick that up because I've heard it's wonderful, but I didn't know their plan. I guess that makes sense. If there's similarities between like the 58 and the SM7B, would they maybe put that Nexidine thing in a similar body? I have no idea. Sure sounds cool, though. There's Nathilian. Hello. Thank you. I do got this. I actually ate a fortune cookie right before the stream, and my fortune was you will be a winner. And then, so there we go. Why is no one talking about how the RCV can be controlled off the network? I'm able to connect it to our wireless network, and then any computer on our network can control it. Pretty cool. Yeah, it is awesome. I've talked about that in multiple videos, so I really like it. I have mine in here, in my office here, where it exists right now. But I was actually loading stuff up and tweaking it and building scenes and stuff from my wife's office next door, because that's where my MacBook was, and it's really nice. You can control it, you can set things up, and it's super cool. I love it. It's a really fun thing. Aries Man says, planning to fully move on to the Linux ecosystem. Will I be better off with Elgato Stream Deck and Webcam Pro rather than a Rode Streamer X? I know nothing about Linux, so I don't know. Maybe there's someone here, though, who does, and they could help out. Adam and Kathleen. Kathleen, yeah. Oh, my gosh, my brain fell apart for a second. What are some tips for selling yourself and your skills in video production to build a client list from scratch? Oh, boy. I mean, this is actually... This is actually a good... You're essentially talking about you're starting out, you're trying to build up a client list. At first, it kind of is a bummer, but when you're just starting out, like getting your like your portfolio and your demo reel and that kind of stuff is really, really important. So I hate telling people like, oh, work for free or work for less than you're worth. But when you're just starting out, if you have nothing, anything that lets you add to that is really cool. So you can, volunteer your services to people. You can do spec stuff. You can do, just sort of like, here's what here's what a commercial would look like if I made one, or, something like that. Like, so you might have to kind of take those jobs at first just to get your portfolio going. And then as soon as possible, start charging what you're worth for your work. And then whatever you choose to charge, never go below that. And then I think if you're working locally, this isn't my area of expertise by any means, but I think word of mouth is kind of the way to go. Like you can promote your services and things, but if you're the person that is just kind of always around doing a good job, once you have 1 or 2 clients, then you'll have 3 or 4 clients, and you'll have 7 or 8 clients. Word of mouth really expands, and that's definitely the way to go, I think. What is that permanent top-down setup? Oh, I'm glad you asked. My top-notch top-down setup. So I found this. I've been trying to do top-down setups for years, and I've done different ones. I've mounted things to the ceiling. I've done C-stands. I've bought all kinds of stuff. And finally, I was like, okay, let me just throw away all of my pre-existing, preconceived notions. If I knew nothing about this and I just wanted to mount a camera overhead, what would I do? If I were brand new to video and audio production, I would probably go to Amazon and I would type in like overhead camera mount. And so that's what I did. And this popped up, which is the Ulanzi desk clamp, which I really, really, really like. So it just clamps to your desk, just like a mic stand or anything. It's telescoping, so this is as tall as it can go, but it can also go half this height or anywhere in between. And then it has this crossbar that comes out here, and it comes with a little, I think it comes with a little tripod head. I put my Joby GorillaPod head on here. But what I really like is it does have this, which you can turn, but it doesn't come off. And because it's just a metal bar through a metal holder, it's incredibly strong. So I have the Sony ZV-1F here, which is like a little small camera, and I like it because by default, it's got a pretty wide shot, but if I zoom in just with the camera, it kind of gives me the perfect overhead angle. And like I kind of showed, it has product showcase mode, which I think I turned on, so it should be able to like focus very quickly onto stuff here. If I like hold this up, or maybe I turned product showcase mode off. Let me see. Now it is on, so there we go. We should focus there, and then we go here, and it should focus back, or not. It does whatever it wants to do sometimes. Hi, buddy. I honestly don't 100% know how product showcase mode works, so that's a thing. But yeah, that's cool. And then I have it mounted weird just for positioning for the Rodecaster video, because currently you can't flip sources or modify your sources in the Rodecaster video. So normally I would just mount the camera on here and then flip it. But to get a top-down shot that doesn't look upside down, I basically had to mount the camera, use this handle, mount it from the top so it's facing the right way. But yeah. Anyway, this was super cheap. I think it was like $40, and it's awesome, and I love it. And I ended up also getting a similar thing here, which is just a small rig camera mount. It's basically the same thing with no overhead crossbar. And now that's how my camera is mounted to the desk. And it's like, oh, just stop making things so complicated. Like, what would someone who doesn't know anything about this do? Because that's going to give you the simplest solution. And it did. So, yay. I like that. Mr. Robbie, your messages are being posted. This is the 3rd one we've seen here. So we can see them. Peter says, just got the Streamer X thanks to me. Cool. I'm actually running this through the Streamer X into the Rodecaster video. Is it possible to have 2 wireless Rode mics, Interview Pro, using a VXLR Pro and the wireless receiver? I don't know what a VXLR Pro is, so I can't speak to that. What I do know is, even though the Streamer X, which you can kind of see mine is here, even though the Streamer X does have, maybe I can, no, I don't think it's going to reach the top-down shot. Even though it has multiple audio inputs, you can do XLR, you can do a headset mic, and you can do a USB mic, right? And you can also do wireless. You can't, as far as I know, do them simultaneously. It's you select one of those things and that's it. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong about that. I cannot figure out a way to do it. So if the VXLR lets you essentially combine sources, and then that can be seen by the Streamer X as one source, then it should work. But yeah, I don't know. So there we go. Paul, what's up? Joining for the first time. Glad you can make it to my random Wednesday stream. Oh, interesting. So Mr. Robbie's watching on the TV. So everything on the YouTube side looks normal. But since more and more people are watching streams and YouTube and stuff on TV, I'm very curious what the TV experience is. Fantasy Network. I was like, didn't I say this name? It makes me laugh every time. First off, don't apologize for your question. There are dumb questions in the world, let's be real, but no dumb questions here. Sorry if this is known information, but do you do consultations for audio video setups or streams? And doing it for 4 years, want to step it up this year? Currently, no. That is something I offer sometimes when scheduling allows it, and unfortunately, scheduling just isn't currently allowing it. There's a page on my website that kind of like pops up when things are open. I don't know when that would happen again. Probably not, at least for the rest of this year. And then if you're on my mailing list, I usually send out a mailing list too. Here's Matt. Matt is the one who sent me the Nexodine. So appreciate that. And then I also get to be on a podcast with Matt earlier this week, which is very, very cool. All right. Thanks for that info. Just got myself a Helix floor. Oh, gotcha. Didn't want to get rid of the gig. I too want to get rid of the Gigcaster and get a Rodecaster Duo or two. Feels a lot simpler. Yeah, if you're doing music streams, I feel like the Gigcaster is the way to go if you're a musician who does live streaming a lot. Otherwise, the Rodecasters for audio, spoken word, mixing in USB sources, they're just so much better. they're just user friendliness is through the roof. Heather finally has a Rodecaster in her studio. She got the white Duo, and it's awesome. And I'm kind of wondering, actually, because I don't think that worked. This does have a USB, this Line 6 thing back here. I don't think that would make it a source for a stream. I'm curious. Now I'm wondering things. iProfit, what's up? I haven't seen you around in a while. Longtime fan. Yeah, I appreciate all the support for so long. Cody says, hey, Tom, really helped me with getting my Rodecaster video, and I just got it. Yes, you just got it yesterday. Does the Elgato Facecam work with the Rodecaster video? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out actually which USBs currently work. I know some of the OBS do. The InstaLink doesn't. But something that Audio Hotline showed me is this right here. The Elgato Camlink does work as a USB source. So if you want a fifth HDMI, you can use a Camlink, plug it into one of the webcam, or plug it into the webcam thing, and then you got that going there, which is pretty cool. I don't know about the Facecam, though. I would hope it does, but I'm not sure. I know there's reasons why like the Rodecaster video's webcam compatibility is limited because they need uncompressed UVC video, which just isn't something that a lot of webcam manufacturers advertise a lot. But I'm hoping it's possible for Rode to just open that up because I would love to be able to just take like any webcam or one of my Sony cameras directly into the Rodecaster video. That would be absolutely awesome. Gil's here. What's up? Another Floridian. Riapel Room's here. Hey, maybe we'll see you later today. And Heather's stream. And thanks, Heather, for taking care of Mr. Robbie. All I can say is we can see your comments. So if you're also posting on TV and things aren't showing up for you, we can see them in the chat just like normal. So there we go. Adrian got the YOLO Box Ultra after all the RCV videos. Yeah. That is funny that I wrote it down on my list this morning, YOLO Box versus Rodecaster video, because I want to make that video. Actually, I have like a basic outline to it. I really like both. So something I've been trying to emphasize a lot more lately in the comparisons that I do, because I kind of only talk about stuff that I like, right? Like, so if I talk about the YOLO Box, I like it. If I talk about the Rodecaster video, I like it. If I talk about this versus this, it's like choosing between two children. And so I've been trying to emphasize that like multiple things can be true at the same time. You know, like a GoPro can be a good action camera, and the DJI Osmo Action can also be a good action camera. One doesn't have to be bad for the other to be good. And so the Rodecaster video is great. The YOLO Box Ultra is great. They do have different purposes, and they suit different needs. I feel like, you know, in sort of like some of the discussions I've had, the YOLO Box, the cool thing about it and why a lot of people love it is that it is kind of so far different from what like video switchers and capture cards and all of that can be. Like it's pretty far ahead, but that also can be intimidating or something that holds people back too, because it's so different from what they're used to. Whereas the Rodecaster video is also quite far ahead, but still has a lot of the familiarity of, traditional switchers and things. It doesn't look like a totally different workflow, a totally different device, even though it can do a lot. So it can't quite go as far as the YOLO box in some cases, but it also kind of bridges that gap to like more traditional, I was going to say old school video mixers, kind of as well. So it sort of depends on what somebody is comfortable with, what they're used to, what they're interested in, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I feel like the ZV-1F is a really underrated camera. I really like it for top-down shots. Something I really like about it, it does not have, it's just a small little camera. I don't have another example, but it doesn't have a lens that moves. So if you have like the ZV-1, which is a cool camera, you turn it on and it takes a second for the lens to kind of zoom out. This has just a fixed pancake lens. And so as soon as you turn it on, the camera's on. There's no delay at all, which is really, really cool. And also when I'm doing top-down shots, if I mount some of my bigger cameras, actually you can still see the camera here a little bit. I just realized it is in the frame. But my bigger cameras, the lens kind of hangs down or the cameras get in the way and stuff. So this is a little more low profile. And when I was putting things together in a way where I wanted it to be a little more permanent, I didn't want like a big thing. Although I can switch this out. It's just an Arca Swiss mount on here. So I could put any camera there if I want to, which is pretty fun. I was trying to grab this and use it as a mouse. That's not my mouse. iProfit, 2 questions. What are your computer specs, and does the Rodecaster Video make the Rodecaster Pro 2 unnecessary? Both great questions. So the computer I'm running this stream with, the one that is mounted under this desk, I'm working on a desk setup video because I redid everything over here. But the computer has not changed. The computer is still my base model, original M1 Mac Mini from 4 years ago. So it's 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. It's the least powerful M series computer Apple ever made. And it's like 4 years old now, and it's going great. I don't do a lot of video editing. I don't do a lot of 4K video editing on it. I still have my M1 Max MacBook Pro that I do all of that with. But I use this for all my streams, pretty much all my streams, all my video calls, a lot of podcasts, and then just sort of like, emails and stuff as well. So that's the thing here. And then does the Rodecaster Video make the Rodecaster Pro 2 or Duo unnecessary? Not necessarily. This does have 2 combo inputs, but if you notice, I don't have any audio connected to the Rodecaster Video right now, but I do have this cable here. So I'm actually running my audio through the Rodecaster Duo right now. And then that is now a USB audio source in the Rodecaster Video. So technically, I now have 4 XLR inputs that I can use with the Rodecaster Video. I did a whole video about this, and you can do the Rodecaster Pro 2, which would then bring in 4 additional XLR inputs. And you can do them together too, because there's 2. You can do USB 4 or 5. You can plug those in on here. Plug USB 2 from the Rodecaster to USB 4 or 5 on the video, and you can do them both. So if you have like a Duo and a Rodecaster Pro 2, unfortunately it doesn't work with the original Rodecaster. You can add those as sources here. So the reason I do that is just because when I'm at my desk setup, I'm kind of always using this and I'm not always using this. And so it just sort of made sense to like have my main mic run through here and other things. But I do have this paired with the Rodecaster Video for right now, which I might get to in just a second because I want to do something fun there. I want to try something fun, something silly that I was pretty excited about. And I lost my mouse pointer. There it is. That's funny. Love, fear chocolate. I love and do not fear chocolate. Have you ever used the Comica Extra Shot Pro with the 2 mics on the 1 receiver? I haven't used any of the Comica wireless things. Yeah, I've used the Rode, I've used the DJI, I've used the Deity. I haven't used the Hollyland, and those are the only ones I've used for right now. But Comica seems like they're kind of kicking butt. Nothing comical about that. Derek takes Zoom calls all day. What are suggestions for mic, camera, and speakers? I don't want a DSLR or a microphone in frame to wear headphones or to make adjustments. So yeah, that takes you down the road of a webcam. Something like the Elgato Facecam's pretty high quality. Then there's other ones like OBSBots and Instalink cameras that can do follow, pan, tilt, zoom stuff, which is pretty fun if you need that. So probably a webcam is the way to go. Microphone, if you don't want a mic in frame, my number 1 recommendation is the Rode VideoMic NTG, which is intended to be an on-camera shotgun mount. But it can also be a USB-C microphone. So you can mount that out of frame. It's a shotgun mic, so you can pick up audio from a distance, mount out of frame, and you're good to go. Headphones on Zoom, if you're talking a lot, they are kind of very useful. I don't know that say required. You can have a speaker turned really low, and hopefully the mic won't pick that up. But you might also be able to find some really comfortable in-ear monitors. I have some Shure, I forget what number they are, but if you find some like in-ear monitors that kind of go behind your ears, they're very discreet. It doesn't look like you're wearing headphones, and that can work. It's tough to find ones. Everybody's ears are different shaped, and you can get custom ones, you can get non-custom ones. It took me a while to find a pair that I could wear that was comfortable and wouldn't fall out as I'm talking, because you're moving your jaw and then sometimes they come loose and they fall out. So it took a while for me to find a pair that didn't do that. I want to try something real quick before we jump into more. I do have my Canon XL1 over here, and I did something silly with this just for fun, for no reason really other than that I want to. But I thought, hey, what if I need to show something away from the desk? The camera, it's too good for the camera to even focus on today. What did I do with my focus here? Oh, that wasn't it. I know we don't have product showcase. Oh, we just turned it off there. I don't know what's going on there. That's crazy. We're gonna give this camera, we're gonna give it a little reboot. Might be the way to go on that one. Let's wait and see what happened. Okay. I just threw a little fit. Sometimes you just gotta throw a little bit of a fit. There we go. Anyway, I have my Canon XL1, which is not a digital camera. Well, it's digital, but it's not a high definition camera. So I have RCA outputs going into an HDMI converter that's taped to a USB power bank that's running into a Hollyland wireless HDMI, which is then a fourth video source here. So I can turn on this wireless receiver. I can turn on this wireless transmitter. And now we have this. I think I even built a scene, if I remember. Yes, I did. I built a scene here. So we should have our wireless thing, and I can crank on the XL1 and give it a second. We'll see if this chaos works, this craziness. I forget why I turned this on right now. Maybe it was just, oh, there it is. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. And I can go to source 4, and here we go. Oh, yeah. Here's me with the Canon XL1 wirelessly, by the way. I can scoot away from everything. I forget why. Oh, this is why I had this. I was like, wait, my audio isn't going to work. Correct. So I will take this and take the magnet. We'll just pop it there. I don't know if it's gonna sound amazing, but at least we'll have some sound here. So now I can go over here, and you should be able to hear me there. Let's hear what that sounds like, if anything. And take the magnet. And now just pop it there. I don't know if it's gonna sound amazing. Gotta check. Wait, I'm here. Gotta check the audio. Sound here. So now I can go over here. And you should be able to hear me there. Oh, wow, okay. It works way better than I expected. Awesome. So now I am portable. I forget why was I doing this. I don't remember. But now I can just show you all of the things that are happening here. There's my Rodecaster. Check out this new arm setup I got, which is double arms. That's pretty cool. I'm also totally wireless. Here's my Streamer X. So I'm actually running my camera into the Streamer X, and then the Streamer X is going into the Rodecaster video, and as long as my camera's HDMI output is set to auto, if the Rodecaster video is turned off, Streamer X will be a 4K capture card. If Rodecaster video is turned on, then this switches to 1080 and becomes a 1080. So that's kind of a way to not have to do much switching. There's the mic. There's this camera. I forget why I got up. I wanted to show something that wasn't here. Oh, it was monitors. That's right. I think I have my in-ear monitors somewhere around here. Oi. Oh, here we go. Here's the Rode NT, Video Mic NTG. This is the one that can be a USB-C mic. And then these guys, oh, they're not Shure, they're Sennheiser. Oops, sorry. Yes, these ones. These are my in-ear monitors that I quite like. They are the Sennheiser something or others. They're like, they have the number 100 in them. Oh, I don't need this mic right now. They have the number 100, Sennheiser 100 something or other. Oh, here it is, 100 Pro, IE 100 Pro, in-ear 100 Pro. And these are awesome because when you put them on, I mean, they work for me. So I don't know, I'm sure our ears are very different shapes. But when I put these on, oi, what are we doing here? I think I'm going backwards. They got smushed in their little case there. It shouldn't be too crazy. Unless I'm putting in the wrong ear here. That could be, it's definitely something I would do. Which one's, no, here's lefty. Or is this righty? Oi. Well, anyway, I need to like reconfigure these. But the beauty of this is that you don't really see, you don't look like, you know, not that there's anything wrong with wearing headphones, but I totally get why you don't want to have big headphones on all day and you don't necessarily want that look or you don't want that feel all day. So in-ear monitors are great, and there are custom ones that you can mold to your ear specifically. I was a little lazy. I'm gonna stick with my wireless audio if that's okay. I'm gonna scroll down and make sure nothing exploded when I did that. Okay, cool. Seems like stuff is actually working there. Cool, yeah, so, I don't know, that was fun. And actually, now, just for the sake, well, let me see how it sounds. Sorry, too many thoughts at once. My wireless audio, if that's okay. I'm gonna scroll down and make sure nothing. Oh yeah, I think the wireless audio is fine for right now. And that way I can move a little more freely and we can do fun stuff here. Let's catch up here. The Rodecaster video looks great. Is it your default to put out device for videos now? No, but kind of. So anytime I need to do multicam, this is the way I want to go. And anytime that I want to make a video, so for streams, I did just get the capability of streaming in 4K. So like if I'm doing a single cam stream, I want that to be in 4K because I can. But if I want to do what I'm doing today and switch all these things and stuff, then the Rodecaster video is the way to go. It's just definitely the easiest. For my pre-recorded videos, obviously I would prefer them to be in 4K, but not all of them need to be. So if I'm doing like a more simple tutorial or something that is kind of like, it doesn't need a bunch of B-roll and it does just kind of need me to talk to the camera, me to maybe be able to show something overhead and have like a third angle or something, then the Rodecaster video, I'm happy to take the hit going down to 1080 because that workflow is just so much better. Like the video probably doesn't need to be in 4K. The Rodecaster video's 1080 is very, very good 1080. It looks awesome. You could even then take that file, put it in a 4K timeline and upscale it and see if it looks a little closer to 4K. And the workflow is just like so much faster and so much better. This is so saggy. The Rode things are very heavy. Let's see here. Mr. Robbie, we're talking about TV experience. This is interesting because I don't know anything about it. Other messages aren't getting through except the message that says my message isn't getting through. Oh no. That's so weird. That is so weird. Heather's doing the best moderating in the world. Kenneth, did I miss a setup you're using today? Kenneth is my middle name. That's not a joke, that's just true. Yeah, so I think we kind of talked about that. Streamer X is the HDMI output, the through is going into the Rodecaster video. And it's just kind of a cool way to be able to still use the 4K capabilities of the Streamer X, but then the switching capabilities of the Rodecaster video and go between them. It doesn't in any way make the Rodecaster video 4K though. My PS5 connected to my Duo always bugs out on the sound. I don't have any suggestions, but like I mentioned, Heather, my wife, just got a Rodecaster Duo in her office. Part of the reasons is to eventually run PS5 audio through it. It's literally sitting right next to a PS5. So I don't have any solutions, but that's something we're gonna have to figure out soon too. Do you know the difference between the Rode Reporter and the Interview Pro? Yes, I have both. So the Rode Reporter is a microphone that's been around for a while. It's this long microphone here, and the Interview Pro is this one. The similarities are that they are both omnidirectional microphones that are intended for like interviews and stuff. Omnidirectional is cool because you don't have to do this. There's nothing wrong if you do the back and forth thing, but if you just kind of keep the microphone in between you and another person, or you don't have like perfect mic technique and it's moving around, or someone who isn't used to holding a microphone holds it, it's still gonna pick up their sound just fine. Both of these have omnidirectional. Big difference is this is XLR only, and the Interview Pro is wireless. So it's 2.4 gigahertz wireless, and it has built-in 32-bit float recording as well. So very different use cases in that regard. I think that the Interview Pro sounds way better than the Reporter. I love the design of the Reporter. That's like why I bought it, because it's cool. It's like, I just really like this design. This sound quality is so much better. I really, really, really love the way that the Interview Pro sounds. So that's my very quick comparison between those two. MT Box says, I wanted to know if you had hands-on the Shure MV6. No, I saw it. It looks awesome. It seems like probably an easy recommendation for people looking to jump into the world of, you know, leveling up their mics, but I haven't played with it myself. Strength and Sport, what's up? I use a Blackmagic Ecamm and the Rodecaster for live streaming. However, our quality keeps seeming to be bottlenecked by bad Wi-Fi. We've looked into getting a standalone powerful hotspot device. No tips really. Like we had terrible internet here and finally got fiber internet like a month or two ago, which has been a game changer. So I'm still on Wi-Fi, but it's just like way faster Wi-Fi. So maybe a hotspot. It proved to me that like you don't have to be, my Wi-Fi now is like 5 or 6 times faster than previously being wired in with an Ethernet cable was before we had fiber. So Wi-Fi is fine for me. So that could mean that a really powerful hotspot could work. Otherwise, if there's ways to hardwire in, that's obviously going to give you the most stable connection. But I know that might not be possible if you're doing events in places where you don't always know what the network situation is. Yeah. Does Rode come with a real broadcast version of the Rodecaster Pro? I mean, they are? So I don't know what a real broadcast version would be, because they got Pro in the name, right? So it's got to be Pro. Hey, look at this. Escaping the Matrix loves my content, but also just saw my wife's streams as well as popped up as a recommendation in Threads. That's awesome. She's been so active on Threads and having a lot of fun over there. I told her you helped me in helping make my Oh, okay. I think she told me about this. She was like, this person found us separately, which is really cool. I guess the algorithm really knows things on both these. That's so cool, though. Makes me very happy. Mr. Robbie is saying the Facecam Pro, he can vouch for it being excellent and happy with it. I don't have Rodecaster or Stream Decks. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the face cams, honestly. I used to have to use a wedge monitor, for the artist to hear the music as, I think we're maybe going back to like the Zoom call thing. I have like a little Bluetooth speaker. Well, it's not always Bluetooth, it's plugged in. Sometimes I'll turn that down really low and hope the mic doesn't pick it up. That's kind of there. Core Vortman, do you know if Rode comes with a more, okay, maybe this was the question. The more radio, geared more towards radio rather than other things. No, they just have these ones, the Rodecaster Duo that I have here, and then the Rodecaster Pro 2, which is the same thing, but with two extra 4 total XLR inputs. That's kind of it. I don't know that they would lean more towards audio. I think the original Rodecaster was the one that was originally geared more towards audio, but then people co-opted it for streaming and events so much that included video, and now there's literally a Rodecaster Video. I feel like if anything, Rode is leaning way more towards the video direction than going back towards the audio direction. Now I understand. That makes a lot more sense. Hello to the Philippines. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you fill in the chat anyway. Distrade says, finally got studio running. Congrats. Bought a ZVE10 and an SM7B with the Wave XLR, but couldn't find a cam link. Do you know any alternatives? Not for the price. You can go up, like you can get like higher end capture cards, but for that price, no. There are those like things that look like cam links, like the Bobo alternatives, I would hold out for a cam link because those just get weird. I don't have any that I would confidently recommend. I'm sure there are some that work fine. I've not had good experiences, and I don't know anyone who's had consistently reliable experiences with them. The Cam Link is wonderful. Often it's available at Best Buy. If you live near a Best Buy or there's one near you, you might be able to just go pick one up there. Elgato does now also have a lot of their stuff in Target stores, so if you live near a Target, you might be able to find something there. Otherwise, like Amazon, Elgato's direct website, B&H Photo, those are kind of the go-tos where you might be able to find a Cam Link. They're very popular, especially as we get towards the end of the year. They could potentially go out of stock and stuff too. Audio Hotline says, one thing I was told about YOLObox is going to have LUT support in the next update. Dang, that is pretty cool. Currently, there's no way to do that, and that would be, I mean, YOLObox, a big difference between YOLO's approach and Rode's approach is Rode, they're new to the video game, obviously, right? Like this is their second video-based product after the Streamer X, and their first like pro, really geared towards pro video thing. Rode is being very conservative with this because they want it to be as reliable as possible. I think, I'm trying to find, here we go. They want this to be as reliable as possible. So that's one reason why they worked on it for so long, so that when it's released, it can do everything they say that it can do. It's one reason that I feel like they have a huge roadmap of firmware updates and things they want to add to it, but we're probably not going to be seeing constant updates because everything that gets added to it needs to be like so tested and so reliable before it gets in here. YOLObox, that's not to say YOLObox is not reliable. I love my YOLObox Ultras over, hey, you know what? Camera 4, let's go. Let's go on a journey. Here we go. We're gonna go over here. Here's my YOLObox Ultra. Yeah, we're gonna bring that over here. And then I also have this to try out. This is the Feel World L4, which is, it's basically an Ecamm with a giant touchscreen. So it doesn't have the crazy advanced functionality of the YOLObox or the Rodecaster Video, but it's got that beautiful touchscreen. So the thing with the YOLObox, that was unnecessary, but it was fun. The thing with the YOLObox is they have been around a lot longer. Like I used the original YOLObox, now this is the Ultra, so I've been using them for 4 or 5 years at this point. And I can tell you, like, the reliability, the usability from the early versions to now, it's not even the same device. It's so much better. And for the most part, it's like pretty reliable. One of the benefits is that YOLO updates things constantly. So you get updates. I'm sure if I turned it on right now, it wouldn't surprise me if it told me there's an update, even though I just updated it last week. The thing about that, though, is sometimes it's like, some of the updates are almost beta, like beta testing, not officially, but sometimes there are little bugs because there's so many updates. But I kind of like the philosophy of like, we're just going to throw every feature, every capability, and we'll fix it as we go. It's just different approaches to the same kind of thing. Oh, I appreciate that. I was going to set it up on a tripod, but I don't have anything that I need to show. Okay. Yeah, if there is something, then yes. Oh, here's my wife Heather. She gave an idea here. Do you want to be on camera?
I don't know, where's the camera? I'm scared.
Boom. Hello.
Oh, not me. Here, let me
yeah, I know. She offered to help. I can do a little desk setup tour real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oh wait, you know what? Your audio. Here. There. Now you should be able to see better. Okay, so we're gonna switch over to camera 4. Hello, what's up? Welcome to Cribs. What should I show? Just the setup?
Yeah.
All right, cool, let's do that. And you got crazy zoom controls as well. So here's my camera 2, which is actually my main camera, the Sony FX3. And it is on my lowboy stand. I did a whole video about this setup and I really, really love it. Today though, I just have it on I have the Sony 16-35 lens on here, so it can be really wide for this angle over here, so it can be nice and wide there. So there's that camera. But when I talk about the desk, everything I changed on the desk here. So we kind of talked about it, and I'm working on a video that shows all this. I redid this whole thing, even though a lot of the equipment is the same. I have these dual arms, so the Rodecaster and the monitor are on
it's supposed to be a dual monitor arm, but instead I put the Rodecaster on one because it's just VESA. But these are great for desks that go up against a wall, so that's super cool. I got my little speaker back here, got my Streamer X, got my Stream Deck, got the Rodecaster Video, then the overhead cam, Rodecaster Duo, Elgato Wavearm Pro. Gil, I saw Gil was in the chat. He just put out a review on this today, so that's the most fresh perspective. And someone asked me this morning if this could go down, like if they wanted to use it for a guitar, so could they angle it down to get closer like the sound hole of an instrument? And the answer is yes, you can angle it down depending on the tension. So that's there. And I got A7 IV with the Elgato prompter.
Oh, Mr. Robbie was asking how many cameras you're using.
Today, yeah, just the 3. But I have, check this out. This is, I love looking at this drawer. You can come over here.
Oh.
Because there we have, look at all the GoPros. I love these. I love the numbers in order. And then we've got the A7S III. We've got the Canon 6D Mark II, which was your camera for a long time. We've got the EOS R. We've got the Insta. This is the 360 One X2. So this is a couple generations old, but it's still good. And then the Insta Link, which is a really fun webcam when I don't have someone to operate a camera for me. And also the camera that I had when I started my YouTube channel, the Sony ZV, oh my God, no, oh my God, I can't, the RX100 Mark V. It was before they had the Z series. Look at this is like, most of my first like 50 videos were just this camera. And no interchangeable lenses or anything, which is pretty cool.
All right, we can switch now.
Okay, we can switch back. All right, cool.
All right, here we go.
That was fun. Thank you for doing that before the battery on this thing ran out. All right, that was fun. I'm gonna set this down here. No YOLO box update. I'm kind of surprised by that. All right, this thing, I'm gonna switch back around a little bit. Alrighty, I'm gonna switch back to this mic just because I'm tired of having the thing hanging off me there. So one thing I'm not too into with all the wireless things is how large they are. All right, let's jump through the chat here. I can probably hear the fan in my little Hollyland going crazy. Turn things down. There we go. I really liked that this crazy wireless XL1 setup actually worked though, which is cool. Matt says, Rode says the Pocket 3 will not work with the, I'm guessing with the Rodecaster Video. Aaron Prey cannot make it work, but then I saw a guy using, just buy from someplace, you can return it. Yeah, kind of, a lot of experiments here there. Aries Man is watching out for me, and I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. With a very clear description. Marco, did you know that you can easily get routing mode at the Rodecaster Pro if you click at the level bar beside the settings? Wait, what? Oh my God, no, I didn't know that.
I think your mic is not
My mic's not working?
the right mic.
It should be. I have no other mic connected. Unless I didn't mute. Oh, it's not, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it?
I got it.
All right.
I muted myself and not the wireless, so
We good?
we're good.
All right.
Yeah, so what happened, I took the wireless thing off and set it down over here on the desk, and then that's where it was, picking up audio. So, and I was talking into this mic. I was like, oh, it's going to sound so great while I answer these questions. You know what? It is what it is. Anyway, sorry, my mind was being blown. That's where we were at. I didn't know this, and I just learned this now. Thank you. Basically, what you're explaining is if I go here, and instead of going through this whole thing, I just tap on these levels, I go to the routing menu. I had absolutely no idea. That is so cool. Thank you for that. Totally made my day. Michael, what's up? Proud Patreon supporter here. Appreciate that. Love all you do for the. Thank you for your support. That means a lot to me. We also got a super chat from Jesse. Oh my God. That is a super chat. Thanks for all the thorough informationals. Every time I have a gear or process question, I'm able to find an answer in channel. Well, thank you. I'm really happy to hear that. One of the best things about YouTube is that you can make stuff and it doesn't just disappear instantly like other platforms. Like, the lifespan of stuff you make on YouTube is significantly greater than on other platforms. I got a comment the other day asking a question on like my 4th or 5th video, like from 2017. So stuff has a lot of shelf life here. But thank you so much for the support, both Patreon, Super Chat. That's awesome. It's me, Jacob. It's me, Tom. What do you use to record music? I don't do a ton of music recording. I do a lot of live stuff. And for a while, I got really into like synthesizers and things that were all through like computerless setups. But when I need to record music, I either use GarageBand or Logic. It depends on how complicated I want to make it that day. Can you run the Rodecaster Pro 2 with the Streamer X? I don't believe you can run it into it the way you can with the video, although I could be wrong, but you can connect Streamer X to like Ecamm, connect Rodecaster, or connect them both to your computer and then combine them in like Ecamm or OBS separately. I think that's the best way to do that. On your top-down shot, what have you added to the... Oh, yeah. I wish I could kind of show. This is just a small rig, like, top handle. Maybe I can... Oh, it's all... I don't want to mess with it. It's a small rig top handle, and it basically just has a whole bunch of, like, tripod mounts and things there, so I was able to just basically mount the camera upside down, which is not something you should normally need to do, but currently, like I said, the Rodecaster Video doesn't let you flip sources. So the way that it's going into the Rodecaster Video is the way that it is. And I can probably show you. If I were to take this out and mount it this way, kind of the way that like, this is what it would look like if I mounted it into the bottom of the camera like normal. And there's just something about that looks backwards. It's like breaking the 180-degree rule in a weird way. So if I'm doing this overhead thing, it just looks upside down. And so that's why I would normally just flip that in software. But since that's not possible, I had to tinker in my, my tool drawer to get it going like this. And that just, I think it's because you're watching me and you have an idea of the direction I'm facing. And so when you see a top-down shot, it makes sense that I'm facing that same direction. And if I don't, then it just throws things off in a really weird way. Marty would love to get a Rodecaster Video. Yeah, it is fun. It is super fun. I really like it. Half press the focus on the ZV-1F. That's what I was doing. Everything always works perfectly until you press go live, and then, yeah. Okay, here I'm going through the comments that were popping up with the XL1. Isn't that the substitute guy from the YouTube Huddle Up? Yeah, I filled in for my wife, Heather, who was camera operator a few minutes ago. She has a live stream on her channel. It's actually going to happen today in a couple hours at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can go to youtube.com/Heather Ramirez and check out her weekly stream, which is the YouTube Huddle Up. Her streams are much more consistent than mine. Mine are random times whenever. Hers is Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that is a stream geared towards YouTube creators who want essentially accountability, support as they work on and progress their YouTube channels through meaningful metrics. So not things necessarily like stuff you have no control over, view counts and subscriber numbers and stuff, but things you can control, like the types of videos you make, how often you're creating stuff, navigating the world of, viewer feedback, brand deals, all that kind of stuff, all the whole world of being a YouTube creator. They cover that every week, and it's pretty cool. She has some really cool, innovative, awesome stuff, like this very extensive scoreboard system that is really cool. And yeah, go check that out later today. youtube.com/Heather Ramirez. Are you using the Rodecaster Video to stream or Ecamm? I'm running it into Ecamm. I forget why I did that. I mean, I would be using Ecamm anyway, so I could pop the comments on screen because there's no way to do that with the Rodecaster, although you can do comments on stream in the YOLO box. That is a benefit there. But yeah, I forget why I didn't. I was even going to try, I had like media, so I was even going to play like my intro. I was going to do like a stream countdown intro thing here to do the whole stream just from the Rodecaster, but I don't know, I got confused at the last minute and didn't. There we go. Cool. John's asking, with the Rodecaster Video, do you still see the need for Ecamm Live? Oh yeah, so this works perfectly in with that. Yes, you can replace one or the other. Like you can use only Ecamm, you could use only the Rodecaster Video. I like both. I think they complement each other really nicely, specifically for stuff like, popping comments up on screen, but also I still think Ecamm scenes are really powerful, even though the Roadcasters are. You can do a bit more with Ecamm, and so incorporating the Roadcaster just kind of boosts flexibility in a lot of ways, although it's not like it's not as required. I got some nifty scenes here. This is dark because I don't have a camera in that input anymore. But you can do, like you can make really cool stuff. And it could be more competitive as time goes on, but it also depends on how you want to mix in your sources. Ecamm has 4K compatibility. Ecamm has easy USB sources. So if you want to mix, not only your screen sharing from your computer, but also, a 4K camera through a capture card, but also a USB webcam, and have it all smushed together in a way that works quickly and easily and makes sense. That's Ecamm, the Roadcaster, mixing 4 HDMI sources, adding scenes, overlays, graphics, super high quality audio on board. They're just kind of different, really. But I think they work great together, and I like them both. Craig says, stream is a wonderful distraction from Hurricane Milton, whose outer bands are hitting us. Sitting in a shelter now. Face turquoise covering eyes. This is not at all the same. At all. But last August, so we live in the Southern California desert, and last August we got the remnants of a hurricane, which was like the first time in 100 years or something there had been a hurricane on the West Coast, and it went up through like the kind of the Baja Peninsula and then up into the, like literally the eye of the storm went over our like street. Fortunately, by the time it got to us, it was, I forget what it was, Hurricane Hillary, and I think at its highest, it was a category 4. So a decent sized hurricane. By the time it got as inland as we were, it was very intense. Living in the desert is crazy because it doesn't take much rain to cause flooding. And there are still roads a year later that are like not recovered from the flood and stuff. So it was pretty nuts to have that. And it was really scary. Like, we live in earthquake country, so that's a natural disaster I'm used to. Hurricane was a different thing because you know that it's coming, and being able to just watch it, and like there's nothing you can do, and the weather changes. Fortunately, ours was kind of like, it was like my first hurricane situation, and everything was fine. But it really gave me a totally different perspective on what it's like to be in your situation, where you're just trying your best to stay safe and to keep everything safe and to keep your wits about you and stay sane. And, it really makes you feel like the world is very big and very powerful, and you're just one little like human who has no control over anything. And it's very scary. So I'm glad the stream could be a distraction from that, because that is scary. And I just really, really hope everybody is okay who's in the path of that storm. Craig says, looking forward to a new apartment and studio because mine will be underwater tonight. Yeah, I know. It's so rough. Do you use multi-view at all? Your shot seems to show that you don't. So my computer monitor's all crooked now because I moved it. I do have Rode Central open here. I guess this doesn't have multi-view on it. I do have Rode Central open here, which is kind of my little monitor there. When I use the Rodecaster Video not at this desk, I have a little, it's actually really cool. I got this was like $50 or $60 on Amazon, but it's just a little tiny display, like external computer display. Look how thin it is. It's so small and so lightweight. And so this is what I've been pairing with the Rodecaster Video a lot, and it's great. I love that. So anytime I basically don't use it here, I have this because it's really handy. But for a stream like this, where I'm just at my desk and I know what the sources are and I have Rode Central open, I kind of just use that, and it works really well. Let's see here. Thanks for the tips. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing when you're setting up any kind of AV setup or streams or Zoom or video calls or whatever is there's like a bajillion ways to do it. So it's not that there's always a right or wrong. It's just whatever works best for you. And Robbie says, my JBL Quantum Stream wireless lavalier is also omnidirectional. Oh, a JBL lavalier. That's interesting. Hey, Tom, watching videos from last 2 years from remote village of India just for audio quality. Oh, awesome. See, audio is half of, if not more than half of video. Very, very important. How do I connect the Rodecaster Duo to my A10 Mini? There are ways. And essentially what you can duo with the Duo is run stuff from like this. This goes to my speaker. These are the monitor outputs. You can get some cables. I actually do have a video on this. It's hit or miss with cables, but you can get a cable that looks like this. It's these 2 1/4-inch on one end and then a 3.5 millimeter on the other. And you can run that monitor output into the audio, the microphone input of the Ecamm. The thing is, I have a hard time getting reliably good audio quality that way. Sometimes the cable's funky and gets interference. Sometimes the signal's too loud for the Ecamm. The Ecamm does not have great preamps built into it. So what I always do when using the Ecamm is just run the Rodecaster to the computer through USB, run the Ecamm to the computer through USB, and then combine them in Ecamm. You can combine them in OBS as well. But that's what I've always done. That way you're getting a super clean USB signal, and that is a benefit. The Rodecaster Video obviously has built-in XLR, built-in high-quality audio, so it's not even an issue. But then being able to connect additional Rodecasters through USB is huge because you're getting that perfect audio quality, which is really fun. Let's see here. Nick asks, you're the reason I have the Rodecaster Pro. Yay. No regrets. I was using my buddy's Tascam unit, which isn't a slouch either. Yeah, I have a video that compares the Mixcast, the Tascam Mixcast to the, I don't know if it was the Rodecaster 2 or the original. It might have been right before the Rodecaster 2 came out. The Tascam was really cool. And I know a few people here in the chat have one as well. I liked it a lot. Then the Rodecaster Pro 2 came out and it just kind of does a lot more. And I really like it. I'm totally biased now, so that's totally get it. I've made Mr. Robbie obsessed with microphones. You have 5 right now. Yeah. I remember getting my first pod mic and I was just like, wow, a real microphone. And now I have I just gave away, I don't know, 6 or 7, but then Audio Hotline sent 3, and then yeah, I have more than anyone ever needs, but at least I like all of mine, all but one. Gamer says, greetings from Turkey. What's up? Have you heard of a microphone called the Thronmax SX Twist Arm? Loving the reviews. I have not. I know nothing about the Thronmax actually. EG Tech, Edge Tech says, love all the colors. Thank you. I love bright colors too, quite a bit. They are fun. John is asking, is the Rode PodMic an upgrade over the Shure MV7? Using a Duo and had the MV7 since it came out. Got the PodMic because of your pods, but don't know if one is really better. One is a travel mic. So they're both great. Out of the box, if you just take them out of the box and plug them in, I personally prefer the sound of the MV7. It's more full, it's more rich. The PodMic's a little more harsh, thin, and nasally. Both can be EQ'd differently though, so that's sort of irrelevant. If you're traveling a lot, the pod mic is a tank. That sucker can stand up to anything. So durability wise, pod mic might win. I don't know if you're using just the XLR pod mic or the pod mic USB. The pod mic USB, I'm looking up here because mine is on the wall. It's above these are regular pod mics, and then the pod mic USB is up there. So that one is pretty cool because you can connect it to Rode Central, and then you have essentially a full-on Rodecaster's processing just right there. I do have a video from maybe 2 months ago that's called How to Make Your Pod Mic Sound Its Best, and it walks through some of my recommendations for dialing in the EQ and stuff. So once you're done, then the pod mic and the MV7 are a little more even. But if you currently own an MV7, I don't think the pod mic would be an upgrade to that, but you said you had both, right? Using a Duo. You've had the MV7 since it came out, but you got the pod mic. Yeah, they're both great. And they can be EQ'd to work together too, as well. Oh, here. Run a radio station and wonder the same about the Rodecaster Pro 2. I have one at home, but it doesn't feel robust enough for commercial. Yeah, I don't think it's anything in a commercial setting gets abused a lot. Even if it's taken care of, just the constant use. And then, lots of times people being in a rush and some chaos, and you never know who's using what. I don't know that it's really designed for that. I'm sure Rode would say that it could hold up to that, but just the day-to-day wear and tear. There's definitely a reason traditional broadcast mixers are just built out of big chunks of metal. They're like the big toolboxes I have over here. They look like that with buttons and switches because that's kind of what you need to stand up to those environments. Yeah, I would be interested. I mean, that's kind of the Rodecaster Video is Rode's most expensive product, and it is probably their most robust feeling like non-microphone product that they've ever made. This I feel is significantly more durable, but I don't know that they would. I don't know how much into like the pro audio video market they're going to go. I have no idea, because they've always been more prosumer, consumery. Other than their microphones have always been pro level, but like mixers and stuff, kind of in that middle ground. So I don't know. It's interesting. Josh, hey Tom, thanks so much for the advice and the comments the other day. I did send you a follow-up email. Oh shoot, that's right. Yes, I need to get to that. Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate you reminding me about that. Nick has a lot of microphones, including the first mic ever bought, the Shure SM58. Actually, my first real mic. So the pod mic was my first. Was that one? The pod mic I bought after the Rodecaster Pro, the original one, came out. But the first, like, I'm going to buy myself a good microphone was the Shure SM57. Is this one right here? I bought this in 2005. So it's almost 20 years old and still works perfectly. And I remember at the time, like, I was in college, and I like spending $100 on a microphone felt very financially irresponsible, but I really wanted to record some guitar amps, and that was the mic to go. What's a great mic you would recommend that's not too expensive? It depends on what too expensive means to you. If you get to that $100 price point, the world is your oyster, because you have everything from pod mics and SM58s to, Lewitt LCT 240. Like you have, if you get $100, those are the ones I would recommend. Like pod mics are wonderful. The SM58 is tough to argue with. The Lewitt LCT 240 Pro is one of my favorites, and all those are $100. You can go, there's some mics that are a little less than 100, some a little over. You can get stuff like the NT1 Signature Series for like $150. That's pretty good. I'm trying to look around. If you can get to that $100 price point, any mic you buy from one of like the main brands is going to be amazing. Just kind of going through here. Oh, I am definitely not caught up, so I apologize for that. We're going to jump through here. Oh, the current mic. Yeah, let's talk about it. The current mic is the Rode Procaster running into the Rodecaster Pro. Those are different products. I was on Matt, who's in the chat. I was on his stream the other day, and when we first met through my channel a number of years ago, he always mentioned the Procaster as being his favorite microphone, or one of his favorite microphones. He has a whole background career in professional audio production and engineering and stuff. And so I wanted to use the Procaster on his stream because of that. And then I have this little pop filter. This is from a website called BSW. It's like Broadcast Supply Warehouse, Broadcast Supply World. It's called the Repop because it's made for the RE20, so the RE-Pop. But it works on the Procaster, and I much prefer this to a windscreen on the Procaster or anything else. I think it looks kind of cool, elegant. This is an expensive pop filter, but it works great, and it's just made out of metal and stuff, so it lasts a long time. Oh, here we go. Quirkworks. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Learn so much from you. Don't tell my clients they think. No, for sure. Just please pass off anything you learn as your own. I remember being an English teacher I remember two things. One, being an English teacher where I have to get into like weird specific grammar lessons, for ninth graders or whatever. And it's like, I remember that morning, like reading like, what is a gerund? Okay. And then have to like, first period rolls around and I'm like, are you telling me you guys don't know what gerunds are? Oh, let me explain, as if I totally didn't just learn this 20 minutes ago. And then when I started teaching digital media, the same thing would happen because I'd have classes and say like in my second period class, a student would ask like, how do I do something in Final Cut? And I'd be like, I don't know. And then we would Google it together, figure it out. And then the next period, third period, a student would be like, how do I do this? Like, oh, you just press Shift Command 8 and it's going to pull up your audio meters or whatever. Yeah. I definitely know this. I didn't learn it from a 14-year-old an hour ago. Mickey Blue Eyes. Is there a way to connect the Rodecaster Pro 1 to both a PC and a streaming Mac? No. It's only got the one USB output, so you got to pick one or the other with that one. The 2 and the Duo and all the new stuff, they put 2 USBs specifically for that reason. We're talking about the MV6 again. I would love to check out the MV6. I just haven't had a chance, and I haven't had the extra cash to buy one. That's such a like affordable, accessible mic. That's one that like, you know, it's not insane to just buy, but that also does, yeah. Can you put Heather's channel in the description or the about section? YouTube.com/Heather Ramirez. Don't think I can edit that right now, but Heather is a moderator, so she can drop the link too if she wants to. Have you tried OBS with the Rodecaster video? I haven't, only Ecamm, but I don't see why it wouldn't work with OBS. It should be fine. And Josh saying thanks again for the advice in the comments. Oh, right. Sorry, I repeated myself there. Yes, I was glad I could help, and I'm happy. Hopefully I can help a little bit more. Aubrey's here. What's up, Aubrey? It's nice to see you. Let's see here. Nick, re-emphasizing my point. Audio more important than video in podcasting and general video creation. It is crazy how underrated audio is, but 100% people will stick with something that looks bad and sounds good a lot longer than something that looks good and sounds bad. When I set my microphone down over here and was using just this audio the whole time, if that were the stream, I mean, here's an example. I'm going to put that over there far away, and I'm going to go in here and there. If this were my audio quality for the whole stream, we've got the super expensive camera with a super expensive lens. We've got blurred out background and all the cool things and high quality video and different camera angles and all the fun stuff. But if this were the audio you had to listen to for an hour or more, I guess it's been almost an hour and a half at this point. If this were the quality of audio, maybe last a minute or two before you're just kind of like, all right, I'm out. I mean, I think we've all listened to podcasts, right? Where you're like, oh, I can't wait to hear that guest. And then it sounds like this. And you're like, well, I can't listen to that episode. All right, let's mute that. There we go. Back over here. And now this, imagine if I was just using the XL1 to film this whole thing and it was, you know, that 90s video or whatever, but it sounded like this. I think you'd get over the video quality pretty quickly and be able to stick with it, I think. Of all the gears you own, which gives you the most joy? Oh, joy. Someone asked this question the other day, but it was most useful. And I said my MacBook Pro because I can't really do anything else without the MacBook Pro. But joy, oof. See, I feel lucky in the assortment of stuff that I've put together. The reason I have it all and have chosen it all is because, like, it was Marie Kondo, everything sparks joy. You know, like using this XL1 is really fun. Using the Rodecaster is really fun. Using my cameras, I love pushing the buttons. I love setting up microphones. I love the way this mic arm feels when I move it up and down. They all kind of like, I think the stuff I use has made its way into my specific setup specifically for those reasons. And I know in some cases there are things that like might even be a better fit, but I like the things that was something with the Rodecaster video too. And the more that I use it and the more that I've been using it, like the more I just enjoy using this, which is like, you know, it's hard to, you go through features of something, you go through a review, but like just the fun, the enjoyment of using a thing is sort of like this intangible thing. So I think I'm lucky to say that everything in my setup, especially now that I've redone everything and it's all like nice and it makes sense now, I think everything brings me a decent amount of joy when I use it. Have you and Heather watched your very first videos together? Oh my gosh, yes. And chat about how things have changed. Yes. And we've both talked about the fact that Heather started her first channel a year before me. So she's been doing YouTube longer. And we both talked about the fact that we leave our old videos up. And, you know, sometimes, especially like my channel kind of found a niche and got a little more focused over time. If you go back, especially like that first year, there's a lot of videos that do not relate to any of that. But I like having those up. I think it's important to have those up so you can see somebody starting a YouTube channel, figuring it out. I don't know. To me, I really like being able to watch the journey of people as they go. Through visual media, I was shopping for an Ecamm plus Rodecaster Pro. Yeah. If you don't already have something and you were thinking you're going to go the Ecamm Rodecaster route, the Rodecaster video makes so much sense. Especially because if you're getting one of the bigger Ecamms like the Extremes plus a Rodecaster Pro, the Rodecaster video is cheaper. If you're looking at the Ecamm Pro, which is $300 plus a Rodecaster, the Rodecaster Pro is $700, so that's $1,000. You spend extra $200 and you get everything kind of built into one unit here. That's a good deal with ISO recording too. So yeah. Rob says Rode Streamer X has a hiss when I'm using in-ear monitors. Sure. Any idea why I'm getting a hiss? No. It sounds like if it's not showing up in the output and it's just in your ears, it sounds like the headphone amps are doing something weird, which could be worth reaching out to Rode about. Also, it's really nice to see you, Rob. How squishy are the buttons? The Streamer X buttons are rather squishy. I like the ATEM buttons more. On the Rodecaster Video, let's do some important work here. Where's my, I had an overhead scene. Where was it? There we go. Okay. All right. Let's get the ATEM here. Let me do a side-by-side button squishiness. These are squishy but clicky. I really like the way that the Rodecaster's buttons feel. I wouldn't say they're quite as clicky as the ATEM, but they're very close and they are quieter. Because you want on any device like this, you want quiet audio. You don't want a mechanical keyboard of ka-chunk ka-chunk every time you change your camera or whatever. So you want silent. They're both quite silent. The Rodecaster's quieter, but it is satisfying. Like, it is very fun to push those buttons. So I enjoy that. But I would say the ATEM is a little bit more tactile feeling, if that matters. I don't know that I have a preference between the two, but I haven't done that comparison. $1 is enough. Yeah, that's me. I am $1. I remember when I was a kid once, I was like, I don't know why. I was like 7 and apparently I needed money for something. And I was just like going around our house looking for like coins. And I remember walking into like my mom's office and she was working on something and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm looking for a couple of bucks. And she was like, oh, we're a couple of bucks. And I was like, that's not what I meant. Ridiculous. The ice cream man's going to be here any minute. I'd love a Rodecaster 1 retrospect. I'd love to see you use it a week and see where it lags in 20. That is a great idea. Yeah, the main thing that keeps me from using it in main capacities now is just the gain, the built-in gain. I really love the presets of the newer Rodecasters. It's easy to dial in really good sounds, and being able to connect any mic like this and not have to worry about gain levels is fantastic. Whereas on the original Rodecaster, if I was using gain, or if I was using dynamic mics, I pretty much always needed a booster. That's what's nice not to have to do that. Condenser mics doesn't make a difference though. Yeah, I feel like my workflow, I could probably very easily get by on the original still. That'd be fun though. And Mr. Ravi confirms, I would turn off the stream if that were the original audio. That's funny. And let's see here. I know I'm skipping over some things, but I know we got to wrap up a little bit here. If you put the Rodecaster Video in a rack or away from you, can control it with software. Yes, you can. You can control it through Rode Central as long as your computer is on the same network. It does not have to be physically connected. You just have to be on the same network and you can connect. So Rode was saying, which I haven't tried, but people from Rode were saying you can use a VPN to like be in a remote location and pretend that you're on the same network as the Rodecaster Video and then access it that way. I haven't experimented with that because I don't know how to do that. But yeah. There we go here. Rodecaster Video could be... I want to make a video. I talked about 4K in my Rodecaster video, like my main one. But I want to do a video. I've learned so much more about 4K and switchers, and this might be kind of where we have to wrap things up for today. But I've learned so much about 4K and switchers since then, because that was my first question. So the Rodecaster Video, I first saw this in January. I think I mentioned that. I got to go to a demo of this, which was the physical device was the same. The software was a little different. It was, although it still worked great. So, but it was way more like not even beta. It was like... we have just put this together and this is like the basics of what it can do. And my first question was 4K because Streamer X sitting right over here is a 4K capture card. And I figured, okay, you did one. A year later, you're going to release something that's this. Is it going to be 4K? That would definitely knock the ATEMs out of the water and a lot of things. And it's not. And even prior to the release, I for months, I've many emails sent to Rode going like, if there's any way to implement 4K functionality, here's the reasons why, blah, 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 all this stuff. Which I don't know if that's something that would ever happen with this one or not, because what I've learned about 4K has been pretty illuminating. The Streamer X is just a capture card, so it's kind of like a cam link. Like you can do, all it's doing is capturing a signal, and that's it. The Rodecaster Video is not only capturing video, but it's capturing multiple sources, and then it's also doing things with those sources. It's combining them, it's smushing them together, it's adding scenes, it's doing layers upon layers of stuff, adding graphics, overlays, playing back media, all that. That is where 4K is not just, it's not a linear increase. It's not just like, oh, it's a little more, it's 4 times as complex as 1080. It's like an exponential complexity increase, processing, workload thing. And for Rode, who their main thing with the Rodecaster Video is reliability, knowing that, you could probably have a device like this that is just used for switching and it's 4K and it would work nicely. But if you start maxing out all those other capabilities, that's where it's like, oof, I don't know that would be super reliable. So I've been doing a little bit of shopping, trying to figure out, okay, what are some other 4K things? And Blackmagic has a 4K version, like a rack-mounted Ecamm that's 4K, and I think the cheapest one's $1,000. It's either $1,000 or $2,000, I forget. But that is just a switcher and does nothing else. When I was at B&H 2 weeks ago for the Rodecaster Video launch, I decided to just walk through, like, look at every mixer, because they're all there, right? It's like the headquarters of everything. I could just see every mixer at every price point. The cheapest actual full 4K mixer I found then was just over $3,000, and it was basically an Ecamm. I forget if it was a Roland or some other company, but it was over $3,000, and it was basically just a switcher with some very, very simple PIP functionality, like picture-in-picture, very basic transitions, and that's kind of it. With everything else the Rodecaster Video can do, and what I have a feeling they want it to be able to do in the future, if it were 4K currently with all these capabilities, it would easily be like $6,000 to $8,000 based on what I saw in other existing mixers on the market. And I totally get why Rode doesn't want to go down that road. Let's see. Rodecaster Video can't do 4K. Hardware can't do it. The Needlebox Extreme will record and output 4K. Hardware-wise, it depends on the level of 4K is the thing. I think if it's just capturing and switching, this is more than powerful enough to do that. But it's everything else that it does that then gets very complicated, especially because reliability is their number one thing, making it reliable. How to get the Rodecaster Video or some other kind of Stream Deck if Wondershare Filmora ever supports. Oh, I've never used Filmora, but I know it's got like quite like a enthusiastic fan base. So I don't know. Daniel Batal, I know he's like the Wondershare Filmora guru. He might be the person to ask about that. Alrighty. Wow, time really flies when you're having fun and doing crazy streams and only making a few mistakes along the way. So I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Appreciate you hanging out with me. I always appreciate it. It blows my mind just like randomly, like I've got time this morning. I'll push the button to go live. And then we can have a conversation for an hour and a half. That's awesome. So appreciate you being here. Appreciate you like patience as I work through just wanting to do random things like film with old cameras or try different whatevers. Very much appreciate the patience, support, kind words, all that. Thank you for being here. If you are one of the people who is in the path of a very terrifying hurricane, please stay safe and take care of yourself. And if YouTube or streams can be any sort of comfort or distraction in that, that is amazing. But please, please, please take care of yourself and be safe. Going to put out my 1-minute outro here. So if anyone in the chat wants to say adios to each other, you can do that. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.